Alright, you guys, hello. It is me and Pippin, and we are signing in live from Houston to give you some low mobility movement and Pilates. So, what we're going to do, we're going to start at the head, we're going to work our way down, and this is just a really low impact way to move and groove a little bit, get your body warmed up. If maybe you're doing something a little bit harder, maybe this is all you do, that's okay. Sorry, she's very distracted. But basically, it's just gonna get you mobilized for the day. If you wanna start your morning with something like this, put on your favorite music, drink your coffee, move your neck around, just get in your body for the day. Morning or night, anytime, it's always the best. So, with that, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and stand up on our mat, or be seated if that's what you prefer. And I'm gonna start off with some little head tilts side to side. First, I'm gonna take my hands, interlock them, push them back to open my chest, just add a little bit of tension. I have my feet right beneath my hips, and here we go. Head tilt side and side. Now, as I take my head to the right, I wanna push the left shoulder away from the movement, adding on to that tension to just get a little bit of a feel-good stretch, lengthen the stretch, and when you let go of the tension, you'll feel so much looser. So we keep pressing away from the movement. We'll take one more full set. And now we're gonna take the head side to side. Keep holding those hands behind your back if it's comfortable for you. Now, notice as I'm doing this, if you look from the side, I'm not moving my shoulders or hips. It's a really common mistake to move your whole body into the stretch, but right now we are focusing in just on the head. So it is sitting flat, parallel to the floor, as if on a tabletop, and we're going side to side, pushing against the stretch to keep us stabilized. And once again, creating some tension. All right, let's go ahead and take the head up and down. So press against, and here we go, up and down. Now, while you're standing here, what is the rest of your body doing? Can you make sure that you are not locked into your knees, stretched but not locking back into hyperextension? Can you make sure your abdominals are pulling in, ribs closed, shoulders lengthening away from the ears? Can you make sure your feet are planted firmly in the ground? And most importantly, you are breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. All right, let's go ahead and release our hands for a moment. And we're gonna take a nice head circle around. Here we go. Drop the head and draw it all around. We'll do one more in that direction. I knew Pippin would want to be a feature in this video, thus the introduction at the beginning. I'm reversing these head swirls. I want to scrape the edges of movement available to me. All right, now I'm going to go ahead back into that little chest expansion stretch and do that head circle one more time. You may notice that it feels different. That's why I had you in this press for the other stretches. Just letting it feel good. All right, so we got our head and neck in there. Let's get the shoulders warmed up. Starting by shrugging and pulling them back. Once again, I'm gonna make sure that I'm standing firmly into the ground, pressing my weight down, up and out. So we never just wanna pour into the ground. I wanna feel the energy hit the ground and rebound right back up through my body, lifting me higher through the crown of my head, standing nice and tall. Now, let's go ahead and reverse those shoulders. Ooh, she's going wild. Pippin girl. So if you hear any scurry, or the camera changes, my apologies. She's a little, wild. She's still a kitten. Okay. Yeah, just like that. So we're gonna go ahead and reset up. There we go. And we're gonna get right back to it with the shoulder rolls. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Alrighty, now we're gonna do one back, one forward, one back, one forward. All right, let's go ahead and loosen up those elbows. Side bend, draw, unfold. Bend, draw, unfold. Draw in a nice big circle beside me, the size of a dinner plate. Well, it's a funky looking dinner plate, but you catch my drift. So keep going. Let's reverse. Take it, fold it in. Take it, fold it in. Getting the wrists in there a little bit. We'll hit them in a second. All right, now we'll go ahead and take the wrists, drawing some circles. Reverse. And then start to let the fingers be a part of it, like a jellyfish. And I'm gonna shut my cat in her room. She's gonna stay in there for the moment. We're just gonna jellyfish the fingers. And then I'm gonna take my wrists, bend them back a little bit. And reverse. Just a side note, I know my wrists bend way too far forward. I obviously never expect your body to look like mine, just as you should never expect your body to look like anybody else's. And then I like to take a little hand massage here, because why not? We're gonna be nurturing to ourselves today. I'm just kind of pinching between the fingers. And in there a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get some side stretching, right? We got our shoulders, our elbows, our hands, our necks. We're gonna start to get into our side lateral movement. So I'm gonna draw my fingers up top. If you can't see, I'm making finger guns. I push my shoulders down, standing up tall out of the ground, and go side, up, side, up. So I am not moving my hips here. I am moving from my waist, lifting up and out of my waist. I like to think about this movement if I was a robot, right, and I had a nice metal block for my chest and one for my hips, and my waist would be a metal coil. I like to think of that for this movement, right? Having that coil lift up and out, while the rest of you stands solid. Here we go. Now let's go ahead and draw a nice big circle. Getting into all of our planes of movement here. Once again, trying to keep the hips nice and stable while we allow movement to flow in the upper torso. Let's reverse the circles. Here we go. Remembering the shoulders should never find their way to your ears. And up. And we're going to add a little side bend stretch. Get a little bit further in there. And up, inhaling. Exhale. If that breath pattern doesn't work for you today, that's okay. Try a different one. Figure out what works. And if you look to the side, hopefully I'm doing it right. What you want to do is go straight over your hips. You don't want to carve to the front. You really don't want to be opening into the back. You want to be right over the hips. Up and over. And up and over. We'll do one more set. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into those knees and hips. So we're going to start with some marching. Just getting the leg up, getting some height to the leg, right? And so many of us, we walk. We're not marching around the supermarket. So it's important to get all ranges of motion into our day. So if all you do today is sit on the couch, get up and do some marches. Yeah, get a new range of motion into your body. Trying to stabilize that standing ankle. Hopefully all my talk makes sense when you watch this, if you watch this, because it's quite weird just being in the living room talking to yourself. So hopefully I'm not feeling too much dead air for you. Alrighty, we're gonna keep marching. And now I wanna take that knee and draw it up and around to the side. So march, draw around. March, draw around. And I'm coming in to a Pilates V, a little slice of pizza between my feet. There we go, we'll do one more set. All right, we got those hips a little bit into the knees. Let's get even further into the knees and ankles with some knee bends. Now, these knee bends are not like squats where your chest go forward. I want you to go straight down. Right, like you're going down an elevator. Sending the hips right over the ankles and allowing the knees to fold over the big and second toe. Starting to loosen up those ankle joints. And never popping back into hyperextension, right? Because I can hop back there, don't want to. Look what it does to my pelvis. We don't like that. We want a nice, neutral, heavy pelvis so we remain in a straight leg. Or we return to a straight leg, I should say. All right, last little thing. I shouldn't say last little thing. It is not the last little thing. Next little thing, we're going to take some knee circles. So, I stir my knees and I allow my ankles to find a little wave pattern, letting my weight distribution change from the outside of the foot into the inside. Let's reverse those circles. Take a few more. All right, now we're gonna get a little more into the ankles. Here we go, we're gonna roll around those ankles one at a time. Roll, 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 roll. Let's reverse that little pattern of movement. So let's say I'm going up, so I'm gonna start outside to the end, outside in. The coordination can be a little funny. It's okay, just keep moving. Alrighty, and last, I'm gonna take my foot, flex point, curling the toes as I come up to a flexed foot. Articulating from a side view, it's this. And now the other foot. Whoop, sorry, I took a little roll there. Trying to keep my balance. It's not my most stable day, but that's okay. That's why we're here. Alrighty, and last little stability exercise, we're gonna try a few calf raises or releves, whatever you prefer to call them. I have parallel feet. I'm gonna press up to the toes and down. Now, what I just did was wrong. I rocked my toes up. I wanna not do that, right? I don't wanna rock back because then your leg momentum take over. You wanna control the movement up and then really place it down. So up, control place. Let the movement melt into the floor. And if you're doing this at home, you gotta tell me if I'm crazy. Doing it on carpet feels so much different. I don't know, maybe it's mental, but my stability just is not the same on carpet. Or maybe that's just my excuse for today. It's possible as well. Trying not to roll the outsides of my feet. Trying to track up and over the big and second toe joints and have the pinky toe and the heel to center me off. Do a few more. Of course, you can always hold onto a wall if you need to. Alrighty, and there we go. We got the whole body standing. Let's go ahead down to the floor and we'll hit a few other things. So, I'm gonna go ahead down to my knees and place my hands right underneath my shoulders. I'm gonna get some spinal twist action in. So I first start off with making sure the eyes of my elbows turn to look at one another. And I make sure that my big and second toe shoot straight out of my knee. My head is parallel to the ground. I'm gonna draw my right arm up my side, turn my head to look at my hand, and I'm trying to keep my hips stable. So your arm won't go all the way up. Notice as my arm went up, my hips shifted. We're trying to keep those hips stable, which means your arm will not go all the way up over your shoulder, unless you are just an absolute superhuman, in which case, please tell me your secrets. I'll hit one more set. Alrighty, and we'll go ahead and some cat-cows. finding your own breath pattern that you desire, that works for your body today. Really trying to find the fullest extent of your movement. How deep can you take this head to pelvis? How far up can you draw your ribs to the ceiling? How much can you expand into space and make a gooey spine? Alrighty. Now, moving on, we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of stability work. Again, just like the spine twist, your goal is to keep your hips as still as they can be, as well as your shoulders. And we're gonna do our opposite arm leg reach. So, I'm reaching my left arm out, right foot out, lift them as high as my back, place them down. This is the hardest part to stabilize. Bring them in. And we switch off. Out. Really take your time to work through the movement. And in. And we go out, up, down, and in. One more. We go out, up, down, and in. Alrighty, let's go ahead and sit down on our bottoms. We're gonna get just a few more things and start to wrap it up. So the first thing I want to start off with is a little bit of leg raises. This is a super modified version of Pilates teaser. This is not a modification given to me by anyone. It's a modification I kind of made from looking at other modifications. So this is kind of Madeline's version of teaser. Alrighty, I'm gonna place myself back on my elbows. I'm gonna take one leg up. I'm gonna lower and lift. Lower and lift. I'm really just lifting as high to keep both of my knees together. Right, I'm not kicking my face. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Carefully keep your abdominals contracted. Don't let yourself sink into the floor, right? You can do that any other time of the day. That is your prerogative, not right now though. Up and down. Tell your body this is our time to sit up tall, be straight, use our muscles. Here we go, other leg, up and down. Or just sit down and up. There we go, down. Yeah, I'm just not gonna say anything. You see what I'm doing. And if you ever want to add a variation, you can always flex the foot, point. You could keep it flexed the whole time. You can do whatever feels good to your body, except slouch. Here we go. Up, bring it in. Alrighty, now I'm gonna sit up tall, and we're gonna do a modified roll down. So I'm gonna place my hands right behind my knees on the lower part of my hamstrings. Sit up very tall, I inhale. Now as I exhale, I roll the backs of my hips to the mat. I'm gonna walk my feet with me. I notice they're a little far away. I roll it down, I hold, I inhale, and exhale. Over and up. Let's do it again. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhale, and sit up tall. Alrighty, now we're gonna go ahead and take a little butterfly. Open up those hips one more time. So find a butterfly that's comfortable to you. I like to rock back and forwards, or back and forth a little bit, just kind of move flesh around, find my sits bones comfortable on the ground. Now, grabbing onto my feet, I take a moment to sit up tall, breathe in deeply. Each exhale, I ask my hips to release a little more. It's hard after a week off, y'all. I don't know about you guys, I did not do anything during spring break. I had a break. Did all my adventures, wedding stuff, but no class. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and take nose to toes, or as far forward as you can handle today. Alright, now before we end, let's go ahead and take some breathing with nothing but breathing, right? Finding a comfortable position to sit in. I'm gonna sit here because I definitely need a little more hip stretch. If you wanna sit crisscross applesauce, one leg on top of the other. Some variation, whatever you'd like. You can even stand if you want. Whatever feels best on your body. Go ahead and find that position. And we're gonna take some nice scooping and pushing breaths. So sitting up tall out of my seat, I inhale through my nose and exhale, creating resistance. Remembering that resistance is adding texture where there is none. And inhaling and exhale. Can you find the deepest points of breath? How much air can you hold in your belly? When it gets that highest point, can you exhale and really squeeze the air out of your belly now? Where not one little bit of breath is left. Inhale, repeating. And exhale. I'm going to take a little side stretch. And up. And side stretch. And up. Little seated cat-cow. Arching the back. And contracting. Alright. So, if you stayed through with me till the end, you watched this whole thing, did it with me, congrats, you moved your body, you are awesome. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I can't wait to see you back in the studio. Or if you're just here online, thank you for being here. Namaste.